We live in a world obsessed with appearances. The right angle, the perfect fit, the curated image. It's everywhere. But when the phone goes down and the real relationship begins, something becomes very clear. Looks might attract, but they don't sustain respect. If you're building love that lasts, it has to be built on something deeper than attraction. So let's talk about 3 things people respect in a partner. Far more than physical beauty. The traits that create emotional safety, admiration, and long-term desire. 1. Emotional accountability. Attraction might open the door, but emotional accountability keeps people inside. It's incredibly rare and incredibly magnetic. When someone can own their actions without making excuses. When you're in conflict, do you shut down, blame, or gaslight? Or do you take a step back and say, "That was my fault. I see how that hurt you"? Respect is built every time you take responsibility. Not because you're perfect, but because you're committed to growth. In a relationship, people feel most respected when their feelings are seen, not invalidated, and when you hold yourself to a standard that says, "I won't always get it right, but I will always show up to repair." That kind of emotional leadership, that's worth more than good genetics. 2. Consistency over intensity. In the early stages of dating, intensity gets a lot of hype. Long messages, sweet gestures, constant compliments. It feels good, like you've found something powerful. But respect isn't built in the highs. It's built in the quiet in-betweens. Consistency is what earns long-term trust. The kind of consistency where your partner doesn't have to wonder which version of you is going to show up. The one who says they care, or the one who disappears for a week. Looks can spark infatuation, but emotional steadiness fosters safety. People deeply respect those who are emotionally dependable, who do what they say, keep their word, and don't play hot and cold games when things get real. Because being consistent doesn't just show you're mature, it shows you're safe. 3. Boundaries with kindness. A lot of people think being respected means being feared, being cold, unavailable. But the kind of partner people respect the most is the one who has strong boundaries, but communicates them with warmth. You don't have to be harsh to be clear. You don't have to be cold to protect your peace. In fact, the opposite is true. People admire the partner who can say, "This doesn't work for me," without needing to shame the other person to feel powerful. Why is this so attractive? Because it shows self-respect without cruelty. It shows you know your limits, but you're not using them as weapons. You're grounded, self-aware. You won't be walked over, but you won't lose your softness either. And that combination, that earns far more respect than abs ever will. In the end, you have to ask yourself, do I want to be desired? Or do I want to be deeply respected? Because desire fades in and out. Respect creates roots. So if you're building something real, invest in the traits that actually hold weight: emotional accountability, consistency, and kind boundaries. That's the kind of beauty that doesn't age, and the kind that's impossible to fake. If this hit home, check out our last video. When they pull away, don't chase, lean inward and ask why. It's about emotional composure, clarity, and how to respond from strength, not fear. And as always, like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss what's next. The real ones stay growing.